We just read an article, 17 things that frugal people usually don't do. What did we think of it? And how many of those 17 things do we do and do we not do? Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Hope.
And I'm Larry.
From Under the Median. We raised our 4 sons debt-free, including paying cash for our home on an income which averaged under $40,000 a year. Every Monday, we give you tips and strategies for living on a budget and setting your own great big goals. We'll put a link, in case you want to read the entire article, we'll put a link to it in the description of this video. But we have in front of us a synopsis of every single one of those 17 points, and we're going to run through them one at a time and tell you which of the things we do and which of these things we do not do. Now, we would love to hear back from you. So if you would just drop some comments for us in the comment section and tell us which of the things you do and what you just don't do. We would love to interact with you in the comments section. All right, the first thing is...
most frugal people don't finance cars.
Do we finance cars?
We don't anymore.
We do not, but when we first got married, we did.
We had 2 car loans.
That was actually one of our really first important big goals, was that we would save enough money to pay cash for our next car. And we didn't actually do it the first time around. We took out a $1,000 car loan and we paid it off in 6 months. But from that point on, we had paid cash for cars. One of the ways we do this, by the way, is as soon as we get one car, we start saving up for the next. So you make car payments to yourself instead of to the finance company. Number 2, frugal people usually do not
overdraft their bank account.
Do I have to tell the truth? I'll tell the story.
It's up to you.
Larry, for years, paid all of our bills. That was just one of the things. Our agreement was I did the budgeting and he paid the bills when they came in. Well, a couple of years ago, he said, you know what? I kind of got a lot on my plate right now. Do you want to take this back? I said, oh, sure. So the first round of bills came in. I got onto our banking account online and I told the bank to pay all those bills, and I shut the account and thought, well, that's all done for the month. And I realized I had forgotten to
transfer money from savings to checking.
Yes. So a few weeks later, I got an overdraft notice in the mail. It was the first overdraft notice we had gotten in probably 20 years at least. So yeah, I'd say that's probably true. Frugal people generally do not overdraft their bank account. And from that point on, we did not overdraft our bank account. Okay, number 3, frugal people generally do not
refuse to compromise their dietary health to save money.
Yeah, they usually don't refuse to compromise their dietary health to save money. This actually is true for us, but for us, it's actually a really easy call because we are vegan. And veganism is not only a really healthy way to live, but it's also a great way to save on your grocery budget because eating a whole food, plant-based diet is the cheapest diet you can eat. Number 4.
Frugal people don't carry a credit card balance.
And we do not.
No, we don't.
In fact, we have some debit cards, and I don't think we actually have a credit card at all anymore. And we haven't for quite some time. So we don't carry a balance. Not only that, we just don't use them at all. Number 5, frugal people usually do not keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah, and frankly, keeping up with the Joneses is just not a good idea, because if you knew the state of most people's finances, you wouldn't want to be in their spot.
Yeah.
So it's really not an enviable position to see when you see a neighbor or somebody that you know, they have new cars on the driveway and they got new furniture and they always have stuff rolling in. Well, you know, unless they hit the lottery or something, they're probably going into debt for a lot of those purchases. Not a good idea. It's costing them a lot of money.
All right. Number 6, frugal people usually do not hang out with losers. Now, I said it that way because that's the way the article says it. I hate anything that calls people names. So it's hard, honestly, for me to even quote the article out loud. But the whole focus of this point in the article was usually frugal people hang out with like-minded people. We hang out with people who are also frugal and friends that, once again, like I said, support our decisions and support our lifestyle and understand what our goals are. And I would say that is definitely true for us.
You're going to want people in your life that are going to build you up, support you. So you don't want people in there that are going to be critical. That can be detrimental. So
Yes,
it
can.
You want to get them off your list.
Okay, number 7.
Frugal people do not take fancy vacations.
Definitely true for us.
Yeah.
We have done a lot of staycations, a lot of just 1 or 2 day weekend trips, maybe 3 or 4 days, but we have not gone on what any would term a fancy vacation probably ever, but we did do some traveling before the kids were born, but we've not done a lot of traveling since then. So we definitely err on the side of no fancy vacations. All right, moving along, number 9, and we'll remind you that we really want to hear from you. Leave your comments in the comment section and dialogue with us and tell us which of these things you do and which you don't do.
Or maybe there's some things, other things that aren't listed here that you've thought of that this article didn't address. We'd love to hear that too.
That'd be great. Okay, number 8. Frugal people never forget to compare prices.
You know, I got started
Definitely.
doing this back when I was in high school. I had a prospective brother-in-law that would talk about how he price compared and would usually get a really good deal on something, where at that time I used to just go to a store, buy the item if it was available, and come home with it. And he would maybe go 2 or 3 places. He'd find a good deal. He'd find it on sale. This was before the internet. Now with the internet, there's a little tool that you can use that'll help you price compare. And what's that tool, Hope?
It's called Honey, and I wasn't saying that to you. It's called Honey, and it's a Chrome extension, and I use it all the time. It works with a huge number of websites. It's just an extension and it stays in the background until you go to that website, and then it will pop up and it'll say, by the way, this is the lowest price this item has been in 90 days. This is a great time to buy. It will tell you, it'll price compare automatically for you and tell you whether you're getting the lowest price on the web. And not only that, when you go to checkout, it will automatically plug in any available coupons and try to find extra savings for you. And it just worked for us.
Yeah.
We just bought a $75 pair of shoes, of New Balance shoes for Larry. We found them on sale, and Honey got us an additional coupon. And so we got the $75 pairs of shoes for $34.50, and it was free shipping. So it works.
Yeah, it pays off.
All right, number 9. So I found this one really interesting. We had quite a discussion about this one before we turned on the camera. Frugal people usually don't automatically opt for employer-offered health insurance. Yeah, health insurance is huge in this family, and so we had really mixed feelings about this one. We have opted for employer coverage, and it is the premiums are very reasonable. What is not reasonable are the deductibles. So we have high deductible insurance. Our family deductible for the year is like $9,000 for the year, every year. So those deductibles are they're huge for us. But if we price compare it across the board, there's no way we would find a policy that is comprehensive as what he has through his work for the price we pay for premiums. So,
yeah, we didn't even attempt to do a lot of price comparison on it because it's a really good setup. So
yeah, except the deductible.
Well, except for that.
Yeah, except for that.
Yeah.
So, but any high deductible plan is going to have a similar coverage, I would say. All right, number 11. Frugal people never stop learning. I think this is huge in our family, wouldn't you say? We're always researching and learning.
Oh, yeah. There's an endless supply of information on the internet. So, yeah, there's always an avenue to go down you haven't been yet to get a little more knowledge about something. I do a lot of research before I purchase an item. I try to get it down to what is the best value. It may not be the absolute cheapest item, but it'll be the best value for that item. That's what you want to look for.
All right. Number 12. People. Oh, I missed number 10. Okay, we're going back to number 10.
Yeah.
Number 10. Frugal people generally don't fail to contribute to 401k or other retirement options.
Now, we did okay on the 401k part. We were contributing. As soon as a company, actually it was a company I worked for before the city, as soon as they offered a 401k program, frankly, I'd never even heard of one before they offered it. It was brand new. We started contributing. It wasn't a lot, but we were contributing to it. So we carried that one over to the next place of employment to continue that contribution. What we didn't do, though, is we didn't max out our other retirement options until I was in my 40s. And we wish we had started earlier. At least we got the ball rolling. So we're going to be okay, but it would have been nicer had we started earlier.
And we talk about that mistake actually in a video that we just did a couple of weeks ago, and I'll link it up above, and I'll also link it in the description of this video so you can take a look at that video after you get done watching this one, and you'll be able to see our 5 worst mistakes that we've ever made with money. That actually was our number 1 worst mistake. Okay, now moving ahead, now that we've picked up the one that I failed to notice, I think we're at number 12. Yep. Frugal people don't even consider the idea of not having a sufficient life insurance policy in place. And this has been true for us, especially when the children were younger. We had a long-term policy that was more than adequate for our needs. Should something happen to one of us, and we still have insurance in place, even though our children are older. So, yeah, we definitely have insurance. Frugal people generally don't. They
don't waste food. That is a big no-no in this household.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
If you ask any one of my 4 children what my biggest pet peeve is, they will immediately answer wasting food. Yeah. I am a huge proponent for making sure you use what you have available and you don't throw out food because it just went bad, that you don't throw anything out. In fact, we actually have a stated waste policy in this house where our stated policy is we don't want to waste any more than 3% of all the food that comes in the house. So that means that we keep really close tabs on everything that comes in.
And let me just expound on that just a little bit. One of the things that we do to prevent wasting food is when we're putting leftovers in the refrigerator, I'll take a remarkable pin, the kind you can erase easily, and I'll put the date and what the item is on it so we know exactly when it was put in there.
Yeah, that is one way that you can absolutely keep from wasting food, is to have a plan for those leftovers and make sure you store them properly and label them properly.
Yeah.
All right, frugal people, number 14. Generally do not fail to keep a stockpile. Are we good at this?
Well, I think so. And when we're talking about a stockpile of food, we're not talking about something for a major event. We're just talking about ordinary purchases. So when you buy, let's say, a bag of a 25-pound or 50-pound bag of rice, you're going to pay a lot less per ounce or per pound than you would if you bought smaller quantities. So you save money, and rice and other grains keep a long time. We do talk about that on one of our other videos.
That's right.
So you do save money by buying in bulk. And the other thing is, if food should take a jump, or we have a kind of an event like we did with COVID last March, you'll have on hand some food in case the stores start running low on quantities like they did in March. So it's just kind of a good thing to have a little backup plan there.
We generally try to stockpile enough for 1 or 2 months at the most. So we're not stockpiling for a year, but we are stockpiling for a good 30 to 60 days. And we make sure that we have it stored in the pantry in such a way that we can find what we want when we need it. Mm-hmm. Frugal people generally don't
pay full price.
And we don't.
No.
We seldom pay full price for anything.
Yeah, before we look at an item that we're going to purchase, if there's any way to purchase used, we'll go that route. And then we're even careful about what avenues we use for purchasing a used item. So you can save an awful lot of money and get very good quality items by purchasing used.
Number 16, frugal people seldom forget to shop car and homeowners insurance at least annually. Now this one we have, I think, definitely fallen down on in the past.
We don't do that.
And we should. We usually wind up like shopping around when the company we're with starts raising prices dramatically. Then we tend to shop around, or we shop around when we've had a major life event, like our two oldest sons are getting ready to move out and get an apartment on their own. And so right now we're actually doing this. We're really doing this right now. But honestly, it's probably been, I don't know, 6 or 8 years maybe since we've actually shopped around. So this is one of those things that, yeah, we probably should do, but we don't do as often as we should. And the final one, number 17.
We don't spend money emotionally.
Okay, so we have to put a caveat in here and say we have emotionally spent money in the past. Ask us about our $1,500 set of pots and pans sometime. But you know what? You live and learn. And so that experience was we spent emotionally. Larry's father had just passed away. I had just lost a child. And so it was a bad time for us. It was a very emotional time for us. And I don't think we kind of took that in consideration when we had someone come to our home and demonstrate said pots and pans. In retrospect, I mean, we love the pots and pans, but in retrospect, our rule became from that point forward that if anybody is telling you you have to make a decision immediately, we just don't do it.
Yeah, that's how it was sold to us. If you made the decision that night, you'd save so many dollars on the set, and never make a decision like that on a major purchase. We learned that lesson. We kind of learned it the hard way.
Learn from our learned lesson and don't do that. All right.
However, the pans are nice.
Yeah, they're really great. They've lasted a long time. All right, those are the 17 things. Once again, remember, we will leave a link to the full article in the description of this video. If you would like to know even more ways, in fact, 10 ways that you can radically reduce your expenses. These are all things that we have done in the past 32 years to live on a shoestring budget and to meet great, big, nearly impossible goals. Then you need to request the free ebook, and I'll have a link to that in the description of this video as well. Just a little teaser for next week. We want you to be with us. Every Monday we drop a new video, and next Monday's video is going to be 12 things that we do not spend money on. So be with us then. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe, hit the like button before you take off, and then you'll make sure that you get the latest content when we drop a new video every Monday right here on Under the Median, where we teach you how to live with a spirit of joy and abundance on a shoestring budget.